Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Money with Mission. I am talking today with Jeromie Tucker. This is interesting. Jeromie is relatively new to real estate, but he is building something pretty impressive and working to have his impact in affordable housing, as well as helping entrepreneurs have more impact in whatever their business may be. I think you'll enjoy hearing how Jeromie got to where he is today, how he looks forward to the future and what his overall goals are with real estate investing. He's just kind of a fun guy. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Be the change you want to see. Make a difference by giving your money a purpose, a mission to do good. Welcome to Money with Mission, where we show you how to create passive income so that you have options for how to work and how to live your life while leaving a legacy of positive social impact.
Hey, Jeromie, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Knowing we just met, and I was just really impressed with some of the things that you were doing. So I appreciate you stepping out on that limb and coming on the show.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we spent, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours in Starbucks getting to know each other after being introduced by a mutual friend. And Jeromie has started Transcendent Rentals and Transcendent. Tell me the name of your company, Jeromie. Don't let me mess them up.
No. Transcendent Realty Investments and Transcendent Rental Properties.
Okay. So you've not always been a rental or real estate investing guy, I know. So how did you get there? How did you come that real estate was a way for you to do the things you wanted to do in this world?
Really, real estate came into play while I was working at my previous job, which was OSU Foundation. And I knew that I wanted to get into real estate. I just didn't know what level and in what capacity.
Got it. So for people who don't live in Oklahoma, OSU is Oklahoma State University.
State. Absolutely. Go Pokes, baby.
OSU Foundation. So what about working there led you to real estate? What happened there that did that?
So it's interesting. We did a lot of development work. So we were in meetings and lunches and dinners all the time, and we met with a lot of our alums. One of my colleagues was coming. He came back to the office and was talking to us about one of his alums that he was talking to, and said, this guy had 250 rental homes. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. What is the income on that? So I got to thinking about it. I knew that I wanted to create long-term wealth with real estate. And that really sparked it, because what that did was it gave me the vehicle on how I was going to get to my end goal, and showed me how I could do that through real estate. And so that was really the impetus of kind of where I am now, and what really helped shape the vision that I have going forward. Now it's been modified, but that was where it really kind of started from.
Got it. Vision's always modify. You start with where you're going, and that changes all the time. But You said that you always knew, or you knew even before, that you wanted to do real estate, and you wanted real estate to be the way you built wealth. Mm-hmm. How did you know that? Where did that come from?
So I was talking to a buddy of mine who was in real estate. Okay. And I'd been working as a regional director at Express Employment Professionals, which is a international recruiting and staffing firm.
Okay.
And, I was grinding it out, and I got to the point where I thought I was just ready to do something different. And I didn't know exactly what that was. Well, he was doing real estate. His name is Charles O'Keery, good friend of mine. And he really found a niche in it, and he started drilling down, and we were working out one day, and he's like, I said, I think I want to do real estate, and I think I want to start flipping homes. And he said, well, you should think about wholesaling. I said, what is that? So for about a year and a half, I just studied wholesaling and everything about real estate. And that was the sole impetus of where real estate really start evolving into my life. And so prior to starting at Oklahoma State University Foundation, I had created the company, my management company, Johnson Tucker Enterprises, which owns Transcendent Realty Investments and Transcendent Rental Properties. And so I knew that I wanted to grow into it. And this was a vehicle that would allow me to do so. So that was how I came to real estate as a whole.
Got it. And it sounds like you started out with wholesaling when you first got into doing any kind of real estate. Anything was wholesaling?
Yes.
Flipping? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what do you think about those? I mean, our group, the people that we are talking to are people with jobs or doing stuff. And, there's so many shows on TV talking about flipping, and it just looks like it's so easy to do and anybody can do it. Do you think that you can flip houses and have a full-time profession, like being a physician or surgeon? Or is there something, tell me what you think about that. Let's go there.
Got it. So great question. It's kind of a two-pronged question, so I'm gonna give you two different answers. Okay. The simple answer is yes.
Okay.
The better answer is not recommended.
Okay.
So and this is why most people don't have the systems in place to really be able to do that remotely.
Okay.
Right. And don't know enough about it to be able to really do it. So you can get people in there to hire, or you can hire people to do the work. But if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know the pricing, you don't know the systems, you don't know the structure of how to do some of these deals or what the process is, you can put yourself in a bad situation, because it does look easy, but there's nothing easy about flipping. Every once in a while, you'll get an easy flip. But by and large, you don't know what's behind the walls. You don't know that you have to get certain permitting and things like that. So it takes away from either the value of the home or what you can add to the purchase price if you don't do certain permitting. So just little things that make a huge difference in terms of dollars, which is why you're in it.
Let me talk about that a little bit differently. So let's say you know all those things and you have those folks, but are you still managing those people who are doing those things for you? To me, it seems like flipping is a job. It's another job, and I already have a full-time job. I'm
Absolutely.
doing and to think about adding that, which looks so simple on TV, you just get your contractor, they go in there and take care of it, and everything's good, right?
Right. So, yeah, right. So I would say simply put, if you're in that situation, I would say the best way to go about doing that is actually partnering. Finding you someone that is what they do, right? And if you can find someone that is what they do, then that's usually a better route, because now you become a partner in the role that you bring, and you're an expert in that space, and let them be an expert in their space. And it's one saying that one of my mentors told me years ago, and it was, you can have whatever you want as long as you don't have to have 100% of the credit, right? And I think that's one of those components that really can help you elevate and scale. By way of this, I first started, I wasn't physically here. I was traveling all over the US and I could not physically be here. So what I started doing was building the networks and creating some of those relationships that I could partner with out of, 5 to 10 different markets, which would allow me to educate myself and be able to then say, hey, I want to partner with you all on this project. Can you do this? And I could do that remotely, but the systems, the right technology and things of that nature help significantly.
Gotcha. So what I hear you say is building the team is the key to doing what you want to do. If it's flipping a house or however you want to work, building that team and establishing that relationship, establishing that trust. It's not, you don't go build a team, meet Jeromie, and 2 days later I'm investing $100,000 with Jeromie. No, that doesn't work that way. Right. We have to get to know each other.
Absolutely.
And trust each other, and then we may start to do some business with each other. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about building the team, and that's going to be the key to anything you're doing. Otherwise, you really do buy yourself another job. If you don't have people there to help you that you know, like, and trust, you got a job. That's how I look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that is one thing that I know that you are good at, is building those teams, establishing those relationships, and across different fields. Like Jeremy, one of the things Jeremy said to me is like, I don't need to know everything. I need to know somebody who knows that thing. So that's another way. Sometimes doctors get in our own way and we think we have to know everything.
Right.
Got to get past that. Got to get past that one. So I know so many women, so many physicians who are not investing because they don't understand every detail. Some talk about wanting to, and they want to be the owner, manager, do everything with the property. It's like, you don't have time for that. And keep your own, the job you enjoy, the work you enjoy of being a physician, it's going to drive you nuts, especially in one-off property. So you have one rental property and you're managing that, and you're managing those tenants, and you're getting, I tried it. We did it. And I can tell you, you don't want to go there. Don't do that.
Right. I would agree. You know, there's kind of a rule of thumb, excuse me, it's kind of a rule of thumb for investors in general. And typically, the reason most investors that are building a portfolio, the reason they get burnt out is because they try to do it all themselves. And then that goes back to having 100% of the credit, right? Yeah. But if you go ahead and build the structure of it as, you know, I'm just going to put 10, 15, 20% for management. That way, even from one company or from one property, you've already got the system and the structure in place, and now you can grow into it. So next time you buy another one, you don't have all the headaches, right? That allows you to scale without having to stress yourself out. And I think it's a huge point of interest that I think most people should look at more from a structuring perspective on the front end.
You talk about you can have everything you want as long as you don't need 100% of the credit. I don't know if it was Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar, you might know this, who said you could have everything you want as long as you help enough other people get what they want. Yes. And somebody's going to call me and tell me who that was, and I should know. But
I thought it was Zig Ziglar.
I think you're right. It's like, and if we think that way, if you think about, I can have all these properties if I can help the property manager run their business better and make money in their business. I can have all these properties if they, it doesn't all have to be you. Bottom line, help other people get what they want. And that in and of itself is having an impact on the economy and on the world to me. So I know we've talked a lot about having an impact and the things we want to do and how we want to develop. You talked about some properties that you went into here in Tulsa that you were looking in, and he's like, I could see the outside and those kind of things. And people were actually living there. This was not a condemned property. This was a place where somebody was actually living.
Yes.
And those things for both of us, I think, are just pretty much intolerable. And working with properties and building properties and affordable housing that are going to give people a really good place to live is something that I think is on both of our agendas for the future. We're looking at different developments to make that happen. Talk about how that's going for you.
So the progress of it is what I'm guessing you're asking, correct?
Yeah. Now, how's it going? I mean, why did you start thinking about that besides what I just said, and just, where are things, how's it going?
Yep. So I tell you, at its core, my number one thing that I've created the company on is creating impact. And to your point, if you can help enough people, you can have whatever you want as well. Yeah. And I think that, at least for me, this area is important. So I'm building it a bit bigger than what I initially thought.
Okay.
But it keeps kind of taking I'm learning this piece and I'm learning another piece, some other components that I was unaware of, that I'm just learning about the city as a whole and how the system works. And so I'm seeing a lot of opportunity, which are really causing me to kind of go back to the drawing board and reevaluate what I initially came up with. And With that being said, it's coming along. I'm in conversations with the city of Tulsa, their affordable housing department, Tulsa Economic Development Department. So we're looking at some different options. I'm really wanting to be a partner with you, if you will. They're excited about it. We're excited about it. We're still working through a lot of the logistics, and I'm working through some things on my end as far as with my company. So this is going to be created under a different company. It's a development company that I'm working on putting together. And so, and it's coming along. It's coming along.
So affordable housing is not, I mean, that means something. That means something in a lot of different circles. I mean, it means something to an individual who's going to live there, but it means something tax-wise. It means something government-wise. Just those two words put together, affordable housing, are big. It's not just housing that people can afford to live in, which is what it ends up being. But for an investment, how does that work? I mean, I know that I see it as a big investment for tax incentives, in addition to the impact that it's going to have for the people that are going to live there. Is that kind of the stuff you're working on? That's the kind of all the stuff that you start out, I want to do affordable housing, and you start learning, oh, that's a bigger thing than I thought it was.
It's much bigger.
There's a lot of stuff to learn, and there's a lot of advantages to doing it this way. It just becomes so big and so much to learn and so many different people to partner with that it can be overwhelming. And the other thing I wanted to go back to is how we start our businesses, and we often start out thinking small, and we don't realize how small we're thinking until we realize how much more there is out there. And being able to step into that next bigness is always important. The same thing for investors. We start thinking, I want to invest in real estate. I'm going to buy me a single family house. That's really thinking small. Learning about all these other different ways to invest and getting to know, like, and trust people out there doing these things is key, so that you can be bigger and have a bigger impact for you as an investor and for the society and for communities that you're investing in. So that's kind of where Jeromie and I are as far as making these investments for you to help you be able to have the impacts that you want to have.
Absolutely.
I've talked a lot there, Jeromie. I'm sorry.
No. You hit it. You hit it right on the head, though. I mean, really, that is what we've talked about, and I think that is a driving force for moving forward with it. And now it's about, really, for me at this point, it's structuring the company in such a way to where it makes sense to be a key partner for the city. To be able to drive and create that impact that we're actually looking for. But to what you said earlier, I want to circle back to that. There's a lot around affordable housing, and most people think of affordable housing and just think of Section 8 housing, and then, some have a good connotation with it and some not so much. And they're both, but there's so much more around that. It's neighborhood revitalization, like bringing old neighborhoods back, bringing some of the houses back, increasing the inventory throughout the city, to allow them to have more places to place well-deserving families. And so, there's projects that are done around affordable housing to create opportunities around those neighborhoods and those areas. And so, much bigger than just Section 8 housing, which is what 90% of people think about when they think about affordable housing.
And for those of them who don't know what Section 8 means, go ahead and just give a quick rundown on because some people who are listening have no idea what that is.
Yeah. So each city has a Section 8 housing, and that might be, usually it's income-based housing, essentially, to where lower income families or lower income areas, government will give assistance for those families to have a place to live.
Yep. So subsidized housing that does a lot, and it's not just where you can just be put in any kind of place if you are a family. I have subsidized housing, Section 8 tenants in properties that I own, and you have to keep the property up. There are yearly inspections where they come in and make sure that place is up to par for what are the regulations of the city. So you can't live in a Section 8 housing that you can see in the outside. those folks
Right.
are probably not getting all the subsidies they can have, so they can live somewhere that's acceptable to most people.
Right.
And we all know housing is key. If you have some place where you and your family can feel safe and secure, your brain is opened up for so many more creative things that will impact the world in so many different ways. So this is a big, big thing. And for me, with affordable housing, you want to make sure that there's food. So you guys know how I am with food. We want nutritious food for everybody, and we don't want to put housing somewhere where people can't get to a grocery store, or can only get to a grocery store that sells quick, like convenience store kind of food. I don't want to throw any corporation under the bus, but convenience store foods is it's not the right food for us. For us being anybody, anyway, so we can stop there. Jeromie, what else are you doing? I know you've got some other projects that you're working on, some other things that you devote your time to here in Tulsa.
Yeah, so I'll give you a couple. Nonprofit. I'm the president for Birthright Living Legacy, so I'd be remiss if I didn't at least do a quick shout out for them. And basically, it is a nonprofit that focuses on fatherhood. Okay. And embraces and celebrates fatherhood. Helps fathers gain the resources they need, to become a better father and enrich those relationships that they have with their children. So that's something that I'm involved with as well. I do have a couple of other companies. One of them is based around entrepreneurs, and really want to do what that one focuses on is helping them gain access to capital, to insurance. And then I have some consulting services that kind of help with the network resources, structuring, systems and processes. And so that's something that I think is highly needed in the entrepreneurial space, because most entrepreneurs know what they do and are good at what they do, but they don't have all the ancillary things around it, a CPA, a financial advisor, marketing, and they don't know where to start. They don't always have the network or the know-how. So this company will be able to be that hub to get you insulated as it kind of stands for your company.
So you're having impact all kinds of ways. So you're impacting entrepreneurs who are people looking to have an impact. That's amazing. You are working with an organization that helps dads be better dads. Jeromie, are you a dad?
I'm not, actually. It's actually a funny story behind that. I'm not.
I knew that, you guys. I knew that already.
No, my buddy actually founded it, and I was giving him some tips behind it. And so I worked at a foundation, and he tells me to read the brochure that he puts together, and I notice he has my name I read it, and I notice he has my name at the end of it as a board of directors. I thought, or board members, and I thought, that's my name. And he looks up, what do you think? And so I said, sure. Well, that led to our first meeting. And after our first meeting with 10 other guys, somehow I got voted to be the president. That's how it came about. So I shared that with, I don't have children or a wife or a fiance for that matter. So you sure?
I said, yeah, you got lots of time. Let's get going.
Yeah. So I will say it's been fun though.
That's really cool. I like all those things. And we have talked before about Tim. Tim was on the show a while ago. And I'll make sure to put in the show notes, you guys, what episodes those were. But Tim and Jeromie and I were all here in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, really trying to make this place a better place, collaborating in all different kinds of ways to improve the social economic status here. But this is the beginning. This is just Absolutely. The beginning, because we're looking to spread this across the country and working with so many different people. So make sure you try to connect with Jeromie. Jeromie, how can people get in touch with you?
LinkedIn, Jeromie, Jeromie, Tucker. And Facebook at Jeromie,
Okay.
Jeromie Tucker, and IG as well at Jeromie Tucker, Jeromie Tucker.
Have you TikTok? People keep TikTok is the new.
It's
probably
I
not
have
even.
not gotten into TikTok a whole lot, but I'm not on the camera a whole lot.
I was talking to a guy talking about he's gotten so much real estate stuff off of TikTok. And I'm like, really? It just seems like it's dancing and stuff to me. And he goes, no, there's business happening on TikTok.
There actually is.
That's an aside, you guys. So I'm not advocating for it or not, but just another place to go learn stuff. I appreciate you being here. We'll have all Jeromie's contact information in the show notes. For you guys, if you guys want a free ebook, you can go to wealth@moneywithmission.com, and that talks about building wealth that outlives you. How are you going to create your legacy? And for me and for Jeromie, our legacies are about social impact and investing in real estate. So we want to help you build your legacy and have an impact while we're doing the same thing. Thank you, Jeromie, so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to
Money with Mission was founded by Dr. Felicia Fro out of her frustration with medicine. Like you, she became a surgeon to help, to heal. What she found was a treadmill of rushing patients through the office, running to surgery, never feeling like she was doing her very best at anything. MWM marries her desire for passive income with improving the lives of others. In other words, doing good and doing well. She wants to help you do the same. At Money with Mission, we are making a difference in the lives of our investors by providing performing real estate assets while having a positive impact on the communities where we invest. Join us on our mission to do good and do well. You've been listening to Money with Mission. There are projects happening right now where you can have a great financial return while positively affecting the lives of others. To learn more about our opportunities, go to moneywithmission.com.